Welcome to Awakening, the podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Christian Strang. I'm a mystic, metaphysical psychologist, and Amazon bestselling author of 13 books. And in 2008, I had a health crisis, almost died in the middle of nowhere, Brazil, turned into a spiritual awakening. And since that time, I have served thousands of women and children all over the world, helping them heal their bodies, heal their minds, and step into living a prosperous, abundant, sovereign life. Thank you so much for being with me today. This is your December 2024 Oracle reading. We are at the end of the calendar year of 2024. And wow, there is a lot of invitations for us at this time to step into greater enlightenment. And that's what we're going to be talking to you about today. But first, today's episode comes to you from the Abundant Healer Bundle. Very exciting. We have a special for you where I give you the exact meditations I've used to live in abundance and prosperity as a healer since 2010. I've been doing this work. Can you believe it? 2008 kicked it off. And then in 2010, I stepped into my service work, serving others. And so I give you the tools that I've used in my own life to step into your powerful, abundant healer state. There is no need to not thrive and prosper as a healer here on earth. And you can do so. And we give you the tools to do that in the Abundant Healer Bundle. Just go to sacred-spirituality.org. Click on shop, click on healing tools, and you'll see it. It's in alphabetical order. If you don't want to go through that many steps, send me a DM and I will send you the link with ease. But it is on special through 12/22 to support my healers out there. And it's on special for this Holy Days time, which is really the sacred time to go deeper in your own meditation practice, in your own self-healing, and really take yourself to a new level. So the Abundant Healer Bundle will assist you in doing exactly that. All right, let's get into your transmission for today. So your reading comes from our book, Ecstatic Union with the Divine. This came out in 2017, I believe. It's one of my favorite oracles. And today's message is super powerful for these times. And I love the empowerment and the reminder that you're getting today to guide you through this month of December. So remember, we give you these oracle readings so that you have a guiding light for the month of December. Now, there's a lot that comes out, tarot, astrology. You've got a lot of options when it comes to divination tools. And I'm always asking, what is the source perspective on this time we're living in? Not what's governing the artificial matrix we're in, not other humans' wisdom. I want source wisdom. What does source want us to know for the month of December? How can we step into our abundant healers selves at the next level? How can we step into our higher selves at the next level and living as the higher self in form, which you know is my jam and what I love to share with others in the path that I'm walking as well. So here is your message and your invitation for the month of December. Allowing your true beliefs to be known to you. That's your invitation for the month of December. So if you're not somewhere, if you're not driving or somewhere where you have to be actively engaged, I want to invite you to just close your eyes, take a nice deep cleansing breath, and really allow yourself to receive this transmission. So these transmissions that I began channeling in 2015, spontaneously, not trying to channel them, let me tell you, that was a whole thing that I had a lot of resistance towards, but you know, when it's part of your path, it just starts happening. So one of the things that we've realized with these transmissions is that they can drop you very, very deep into a healing state, into an alpha state and beyond. Sometimes folks will fall asleep because they need to get into a deep theta to be able to receive these light codes. So if you can, just close your eyes, lay down even, you know, get into a meditative position and just allow yourself to receive this transmission of light and notice what is moving in your body as these light codes are shared with you, what epiphanies and ahas come up for you as this is shared with you. Okay. We want to tell you, as clearly as we have ever told you anything on this divine day, that your experience of your life unfolding runs in parallel to your worldview, meaning that what you believe rules the experience that you experience in most every way. We know that you have perhaps heard about this concept or have been introduced to it in some way, but it is our hope and intention that today's transmission allows you to embody and understand this at a level with which you have not previously had access to. We want you to understand that positive affirmations and mindset, aspects that you may hear about in your self-development sectors, are not merely interesting ideas or a load of hogwash as others may deem them, but they are the mere surface of the true nature of your reality and what is possible for you. And now we are about to take this deeper for you so that you can more fully understand what we are meaning in all of this. We want very much so for you to align with a new frequency, a new expanded level on an area you have yet to fully embody. And that is, if you are ever in curiosity about what you believe, you must simply look at the external manifestations in your life unfolding. And from there, as you raise your awareness, you are then given access to this understanding. With focus, intention, and alignment, you can shift your beliefs on any topic to a placement of greater alignment with who you really are. When you do this, then your external manifestations will look much differently to you. Now, someone with a whole other set of belief systems could look at your external manifestations and see them in one way and another in another way. In fact, this is occurring all day, everywhere you go. And this is why we encourage gathering with those who are of like heart with you. Because when one or more of you come together and you are of like understanding, you know that your beliefs rule your worldview. And when you have similar beliefs and you come together and you are talking about aspects of your life unfolding that light you up, you are then elevating the frequency all around you. And the ripple of that frequency shift provides greater access to those that are not currently in that vibration to then gain access to that vibration. Whew, that's a big one to unpack right there when you think about all kinds of people of similar beliefs coming together. Usually they're like shit talking whatever the situation is. Now, of course, the guidance here is that we would talk about what really lights us up. So we're of like heart, we come together with others of like heart, and then we share about the light, what is lighting us up. And then that creates a frequency upgrade that then ripples out so that others can also pick up on that vibration. But we can also see how that may happen for those who are not using it in the most lit way. This is powerful. So we have talked to you about this before. It's why everything you do matters. Every frequency you emit has a power to it that makes whatever that frequency is more accessible by the collective. And so when you are in a space of not like-hearted individuals, you may not feel so good, or you may pick up on thought forms that you realize are not yours or are of no interest to you. And so we will come back to our original intent here. We want you understanding that your beliefs shape your perception of everything that is happening around you and everything that is happening to everyone else around you. When you choose to see anything as detrimental to yourself or another, that will be the majority of your experience with that aspect. I'm going to read that again because that is so freaking powerful. When you choose to see anything as detrimental to yourself or another, that will be the majority of your experience with that particular aspect. If you choose to see what is happening through the perspective as an opportunity for enlightenment, now you've never heard us use this term before, have you? At the time of this writing, you had not. You literally can see every occurrence in your world and in the world all around you as an opportunity for enlightenment, which means we must now clarify what we mean by enlightenment, as it carries its own energetic matrix of various beliefs created by various ones. When we are using the term enlightenment, and we is source and the highest light, that is who I channel and work with. And of course, Mary Magdalene and Yeshua are my primary guides that are supporting me in that. Okay, so which means we have to clarify what we mean by enlightenment. When we use the term enlightenment, we are literally speaking of the process of becoming filled with more light. Why would this be something anyone would desire, you might ask? Well, first, light is what you are truly made up of, what all are at their core. When you see all aspects and experiences as an opportunity to embody more of the light that you truly are, you become more and more filled with your core essence, which is source. This light that we speak of is the light of source. It is pure love, pure joy, pure bliss, pure abundance, pure magic, pure spirit. It is the expansive feelings of all of these aspects that many of you feel or have felt throughout your life unfolding. And so, if you could allow yourself to know, to believe, to fully understand that every experience that is occurring for the opportunity of you becoming more filled with light, that it is calling to that light part of you and calling forth for you to walk with whatever it is in the light, then you have an extraordinary life experience. Then you are in ecstatic union with the divine each and every day. Take a nice deep breath there, just drinking that in. You live in ecstatic union with the divine every single day when you take every single experience in your life and you use it as an impetus for enlightenment. How can I become filled with more light? How can I become filled with more light? Which is who I am, which is what I really am. I'm a light being. So how can I become even more filled with light? Because we know we come here to earth and there's so many things that are draining the light or attacking the light or trying to siphon the light, right? So our work as light beings is to make sure that every single day we're doing things that bring more light into the body. That's, of course, very important with the nutrition, which that's why I'm like a Purium super fan since Mary and the team brought that to me in 2020. So we've got to be filling the body physically with light, nutrition, but also in how we are believing. And that's what the focus is for this month of December, what we're believing, because what we're believing is either creating more enlightenment for us or less. So I'm going to tell you a little story based on my experience that's popping in here for me to share with you. So in 2016, so if you follow me on Instagram, the collective has been in a timeline loop that was the same as 2016. So in 2016, I was in a very different frequency of consciousness and a very different belief system in terms of the artificial matrix. So I was fully bought into the artificial matrix and like the very liberalized agenda, the progressive agenda. I was all about it. So 2016 happens. I was very excited. I was like, we're going to have a woman as president. This is so exciting. I mean, I was 100% mind controlled by that part of the artificial matrix. So then we know what happened in 2016, and I was devastated, and I had a vision. I've never had a vision like this again, and I hope not ever to have it. But in 2016, I had this vision, and I saw like these terrible things happening on Earth because of what happened in 2016. And I was, at first filled with a lot of anxiety and fear. But then after I moved through that, I came to the place of asking my spiritual team, like, wait a second, what is really going on here on Earth? Like, what is happening? Because I was believing this whole political system and this whole matrix was like something of value. And I was thinking that like there was the potential for it to be filled with light. And I was, like all in on this belief system. And you're showing me something like what the results are in the world is totally different. So please help me understand what is really happening on Earth. So in 2016, that was my prayer. I was asking, let me be filled with light. Let me see what is truly happening. I actually said, I want to be enlightened on this topic around politics and the artificial matrix and what's really happening. And my spiritual team, for those of you that have heard me tell this story in master classes before, you know this, my spiritual team, for the first time ever, in any of the questions I've ever asked them, they said to me, are you sure? And I said, what do you mean? Am I sure? Yeah. Do you really want to know what's really going on in the artificial matrix and in politics and all of that? I said, yeah, I really want to know because I was totally bought in and like, on this kumbaya train and part of this party that it's total bullshit. So like, yes, please, I want to know what is really going on. And my team said, okay, get ready. And from that moment on, I was shown what's really happening in the artificial matrix, what's really happening in the political system. I saw a split in consciousness that was happening that was intense, that the consciousness of the third dimension and the fifth dimension were splitting. You've heard me talk about this before. And I, was like, no, unity, and we're all going to kumbaya, and it's going to be so great. And my team was like, yeah, with those of like heart, you will be doing that with. So then I started having a series of dreams that showed me what energies are actually running those systems. I started being shown who the key players are in those systems, who created the political system and why, similar to who created the Western healthcare system and why. So I started being shown all of these things that I did not want to know, right? These are not like the happiest things I want to be hearing, but I was willing for my own enlightenment, for my own ability to know what am I really doing here? What is really happening on earth? And I know I'm a light being, but how am I supposed to navigate this whole scenario that I'm in? And so when you ask, it is always given, and your enlightenment will not be withheld from you. So I was shown all of these pieces. And if you want to know exactly what I was shown, join my Sacred Spirituality Coach certification or my Love Territory Guide certification. And then in the master classes that we have annually, I go into more details about these things, but I'm not going to speak publicly on all of those various pieces because that's just not the format for what we're doing here. So my invitation to you, though, in this month of December is to use everything as an opportunity for enlightenment and to really ask the hard questions of your spiritual team and your higher self to really show you what's happening, to really show you what's going on, and they will. And then from that place, you can then interact with your environment from this deeper understanding, and you can be more of your source self here on earth. Even though it was hard to see all of the things that I was shown because I had such a naive sort of Pollyanna viewpoint of what was happening on earth, once I understood what was really happening on earth and who the key players are and how things are being manipulated and what's really going on, I stepped into a whole new level of personal freedom and liberation and enlightenment and personal power. I mean, it is extraordinary what is possible when you're willing to ask those deeper questions and allow yourself to become enlightened, not to just like, oh, the esoteric, blah, all the blah, 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 right? Because certainly we can go on those spirals, and that could be really fun and turn into a little bit of an addiction, just like the downward spiral can turn into a little bit of addiction and going down rabbit holes. We want you to get the information and not stay there. Get the information and then be empowered and ask, all right, knowing all of this, what is my next step? And then after you do that, what is my next step? And what is my next step? And this invitation to come together with those of like heart during this month and really not focus on the issues that you want to change, but to focus on what is lighting you up. Let's talk about all the things that are lighting you up and all the things that are lighting me up. And let's create a frequency of a light that then ripples into the collective and becomes more available for more souls to have their own enlightenment and awakening experience. And that's really what I'm seeing with the timeline repeating for those in the third dimension, that 2016 timeline repeating, they're getting the opportunity to awaken in not the same way as I did, but maybe in a similar way, to really see things clearly, to really then revoke their consent to being controlled and dominated by these matrices that do not have their best interest at heart. I mean, this is so empowering. So, hello, December. We are here. We see you. And, while the astrology might say, oh, all these retrogrades or all these things, or other seers might say, oh, all these things, we really want you to ground and anchor into your body and really follow this guidance with ease. I'm going to focus on talking to those of like heart about what lights me up and what lights them up and really like juice that up. I'm going to allow every opportunity, I'm going to allow every experience to be an opportunity to ask for my greater enlightenment and ask to be filled with more source light and to greatly understand what is happening here on earth or in my life or whatever it is, so that I can embody that goddess, that divine mother, that source energy that I am a spark of, I am a sliver of, that I can expand more of that in my body temple and have a different experience here on earth. I can live in ecstatic union with the divine when I do this. So super simple. You can totally do that, right? All right, my loves. Thank you for being here with me today, either on video on YouTube or listening on your favorite podcast channel or streaming service or whatever they call it these days. Thank you so much for being here. If you loved what we shared today, please feel free to forward it to someone you know, another light being on the path, to support them on their journey. If you'd like free meditations, free chapters from my book, free dance, we've got playlists for dance. If you'd like our free spiritual healer compass to find out what is the spiritual healer that you are most here to be, go to sacred-spirituality.org. And of course, if you want to step into your next level as an abundant healer, go to sacred-spirituality.org and click on the shop tab or message me direct and I'll send you the link. For those of you that are part of my email community, you'll have a link in your inbox. Thank you so much for listening and watching. As always, I am your host, Dr. Christian Strang, and this has been Awakening the Podcast.